The Boy King, Louis XV as a child by Hyacinthe Rigaud. Hyacinthe Rigaud, 1659–1743, was one of the most celebrated portrait painters of the French court in the 17th and 18th centuries. He immortalized the faces and personalities of kings, queens, nobles, and dignitaries with his skillful and elegant style. One of his most remarkable works is the portrait of Louis XV, 1710–1774, as a child, painted around 1716–24. Louis XV became the King of France in 1715, at the age of 5, after the death of his great-grandfather, Louis XIV, the Sun King. He was the only surviving son of Louis, Duc de Bourgogne, and Marie Adélaïde de Savoie, both of whom had died of smallpox in 1712. He inherited a vast and powerful kingdom, but also a heavy burden of responsibility and expectation. Rigaud's portrait captures the paradox of Louis XV's childhood. He was a boy who had to act like a man, a king who had to learn how to rule. He is depicted in the royal costume that he wore for his coronation in 1722, at the age of 12. He wears white hose, a blue velvet mantle embroidered with gold fleur-de-lis and lined with ermine, and the collar and cross of the Order of the Holy Spirit. He holds a scepter with a fleur-de-lis, a symbol of his authority, and rests his hand on another scepter with an ivory hand, a symbol of his justice. He also wears a crown, a sword, and a pair of gloves, which are part of the regalia of the French monarchy. The portrait is based on the famous portrait of Louis XIV by Rigaud in 1701, which established the image of the absolute monarch. Rigaud used the same elements of composition, such as the red drapery, the tassels, and the floor coverings, to create a sense of continuity and legitimacy. He also used the same technique of light and shadow, to create contrast and highlight the main figure. However, he also made some changes, to adapt the portrait to the personality and age of Louis XV. He softened the expression, to show the innocence and gentleness of the child. He also reduced the size of the crown, to fit the smaller head of the boy. The portrait is one of the many versions that Rigaud made for the Palace of Versailles, where it still hangs today. It was commissioned by the regent, Philippe d'Orléans, the nephew of Louis XIV, who ruled France until Louis XV came of age in 1723. The portrait was intended to show the continuity of the royal dynasty, but also to inspire affection and loyalty among the French people. The portrait is a masterpiece of art and history that reveals the complex and fascinating childhood of Louis XV. It is a testament to Rigaud's talent and reputation as a court painter, and a valuable contribution to the cultural heritage of France.